VOP this morning because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on.
All right, it's a beautiful morning. It is Tuesday, the fifth day in the month of March, and we welcome you to VOP this morning. Now, VOP is basically an acronym that stands for Voice of the People. So, in case you're joining us for the very first time, we'd like you to be part of the family. Let us know what's going on around you. Be part of every conversation that we hold right here on VOP TV. I am Moses Humphrey, and I welcome you to the program VOP This Morning.
Fina Okechuku, good morning Lagos, good morning Nigeria.
And I am Masina Chiokafa. Good morning. Good morning, Moses.
Good morning to you, Fina. Good morning, Masinachi. And, well, federal government has said the distribution of grains will commence today or this week, though.
This week.
All right, so we do hope that Nigerians that are desperately in need of these grains will have access to these grains. But that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah, we're talking about the fact that Central Bank of Nigeria slashes custom duty rate by 5.3%. And then Lagos State government to implement a monthly rental policy. Is that going to stand? Is that feasible? We don't know about that.
These are the stories on our reader this morning. But before we get into the discussion, we encourage you to click on the subscribe button and subscribe to our page. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. But we have to look at the front pages of the dailies.
All right, so let's get into the dailies this morning. And I would love to start with the Guardian newspaper. Well, we have the Guardian on our table. We have the Guardian, we have the Vanguard, we have the Punch, and also Daily Trust. But I would love to start with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. The banner headline here reads 198,432 pending. The Guardian newspaper. Yes, we're starting off with the Guardian newspaper. Now, 198,432 pending court cases leave many in jail. Businesses stranded. This basically speaks to the delay that has been experienced in carrying out court cases. Some people cases linger for way too long. Well, we do hope that as this has been brought to the fore, something will be done to ensure speedy conclusion of trials, speedy conclusion of cases, so people can know their fate and actually get back to
especially
their businesses.
Most people who may possibly be, may not be found guilty of whatever it is that's going on there, and then you're suffering for what you don't even know whether or not you're guilty for. So,
most people actually spend more time on a waiting trial, given to the time that maybe when they finally get to court, they say you have 2 years, but they've spent like 10 years on a waiting trial.
Unfortunately.
Very unfortunate.
Oh well, underneath that one, there's of course the pictorial that shows that talks about that gives a breakdown of court cases. We have Nigeria spends 5,412,400 daily to feed 54,124 awaiting trial inmates. Court of Appeal has 39,526 pending cases. 144,910 lingering at Federal High Court. FCT FCT Magistracy has 13,996 pending cases covering civil, criminal matters. All right, that just gives you a good idea. Imagine spending the millions to feed over 5 million naira to feed 54,000 people.
That's a
awaiting
lot.
trial. Awaiting trial. When it could be home fending for themselves. Oh well. Right beside that one, we have stop proliferation of arms, light weapons. Tinubu tasked AU, UN. Monetary tools can't solve food price crisis. Additional insists that can be found in the business page 15. All right. Now, underneath the pictorial, Amotekun arrest 3 jailbirds, 64 other suspects in Ondo. Furor over new tax regime, stiffer enforcement in Enugu. FD to begin grains distribution, insists warehouse looting criminal beyond hunger. Oh yes, if you have seen the impact of the looting, it wasn't just about people wanting to get food on the table. It was about people aiming to destroy. People basically they broke the walls. People basically destroyed the warehouse. Oh well. Some more headlines here. Review Orosanye reports before implementation. Civil servants tell FG. Clinton, Obasanjo, Macron, additional others eulogize Wigwe. Yes, I did watch that one. It was interesting to see, Nigerians, different people come to talk about the life and time of the man Herbert Wigwe. All right. Looting food warehouse, reflection of hunger, frustration of Nigerians, says INC. All right, these are the headlines that we have on the cover page of the Guardian newspaper. Oh well.
So, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on, we have Daily Trust this morning, and the banner headline says, Cardoso warns Nigeria on debt risks. The subrider says a federal government, states owe 139 trillion naira. Trillion naira. Debt rose from 2.1 trillion naira to 87 trillion naira in 24 years. That's a lot. Darawa settles with Kanu government, returns as Hishba commander. Private sector weak as economy declines by $44 billion in 2023, says NESG. 17 killed in Zaria, Kanu, Abuja, Lokoja road crashes. Underneath, we have IGP bars POS operators from police stations nationwide. U.S. election, Supreme Court clears Trump for primaries. Healing, masquerades go to church with a native doctor for Thanksgiving. Children starving to death in northern Gaza hospitals, says WHO. That's all we have for Daily Trust this morning.
Interesting headlines indeed. Interesting headlines there. 17 killed. That's I'd like to pick on that one first. 17 killed in Zaria, Kano, Abuja, Lokoja road crashes. The travails of the Nigerian just keeps increasing. There's a lot of fear of people plying the roads. People are afraid of banditry, afraid of being kidnapped, and afraid of accidents, because the roads are riddled with potholes that makes driving that makes driving terrible. You can if you're not very familiar with some of these roads, you would just unknowingly get yourself into a ditch. And if your speed is not one that can enable you to control the vehicle, then an accident would readily just happen. This is another of many, 17 killed on these roads. I just do hope something could be done about, some road construction works have been ongoing. We do hope. To some extent, I feel some of these bad portions on the roads are done by human beings. I think people intentionally create potholes on some roads.
So that they can come out
what would they gain?
Some people actually do come out to hawk.
Slow down traffic,
to
so
hawk
they could
whatever
hawk.
they have. Some other people actually do that to perpetrate one evil or the other.
I don't want to believe that, because it feels very evil.
But I think we need to look at this way too. We need to tell, maybe the government need to move into action whereby if they know that, because we can't say repair all the roads at once. Now, what happened to going for that to put one or two signs? Nigeria actually, we have to look at this. We don't have speed limit signs on some roads. We don't. Even
some roads.
Yeah.
We do have on major roads. We do have on most roads actually.
Now, when you look at the major roads you're talking about, you find out that some of these signs are being hidden. Some of them, maybe the grasses must have grown, and then some of them, you wouldn't even see them. You wouldn't even, But I think if the road maintenance agency move into saying we are putting, signs, and not just the signs too, we have to go ahead to, bring in stiffer penalties for the people that break these laws.
There is a speed limiter device that commercial vehicles were supposed to install on their vehicles to control their speed.
Limit,
I don't know much about the enforcement of it, but there are devices. But regardless of devices being put in place, I think humans, Nigerians, should love life enough. Love life enough to want to take it easy on the road so you get to your destination, as against going by road to heaven. Take your
Going by
time.
road to heaven.
Take your time.
Yeah.
There is, and I don't know if there's this spirit of competition on the
When
roads.
you, when you're driving,
It's something that troubles most drivers in Nigeria. I don't want to say Lagos, but it cuts across Nigeria. When all of a sudden a car zooms past you
and you want to
and
meet
you
up.
feel, okay, this person is trying to oppress me.
Show
So
off
you
maybe
increase
their
your
car
own
or
speed.
something.
Sometimes I tell myself it's unnecessary.
Very,
It's very like I was driving the other day. I had gone past the guy. He was obviously just cruising, and when I drove past him, he increased his speed,
Can you imagine?
and we were now at par. It felt like a competition, and I looked at him. I just slowed down, and then he zoomed off and then waved at me,
Can
and
you
I
imagine?
smiled. I'm like, dude, I don't know you. You're going a different way. I'm going a different. There was no need for that. That could
Yeah.
have caused an accident.
accident.
Yeah, of course.
It's a mentality that some Nigerians have, and I think something can be done about it. It's a reorientation that
Yeah.
we need, a reorientation of our mindset. Oh well.
Moving on to the punch.
Now
There's
before we
a-
move on to
okay,
the punch,
okay.
Yeah.
You
There's
want
a
to say-
headline that caught my interest. It says
Okay.
IGP bars POS operators from police stations nationwide.
oh yes, because there's been reports that certain things have gone wrong with POS operators operating from within the police station. So I guess that's why the IGP has placed a ban
ban.
on it.
Oh.
Okay.
You have other thoughts?
Yes, because
Go
I
ahead.
asked the question and then I was like, how many countries have POS operators to start with? So if we're starting with the banning of POS operators from the police stations, should that mean that it's going to get to banning it from other places?
No. It's just about it being in the police
In the
station.
police station.
It doesn't have. It's not going to be barred or banned in any other place.
Any other place.
No, that's not the motive.
So that people don't get to start being scared of,
No.
this doesn't get to us
It
and all
has
of that.
nothing to do with that. It's about why would you even want to have a POS operator
operator.
operating within a police station?
Yeah.
Is it for the policemen to make withdrawals? They could go outside and do that. Is it for people to pay bail? Is
When
it
the bailout is free.
when? Well,
Yeah, it's free.
all right then. Another headline here that actually tickles my fancy is healing masquerades go to church
Okay.
with native doctor for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I think the native doctor got healed.
That is very laughable.
I need to, and then he went for Thanksgiving to
And
church,
masquerades
With a
joined.
masquerade.
and the masquerades accompanied him. You know how you go for Thanksgiving and your
People
your
need to-
family
family
members
and
will need to
friends.
come and thank God with
Yeah.
you. That was the scenario there. Interesting
Impressive.
scenario.
Okay.
The herbalists, the native doctors, family members
Yeah.
accompanied him to
Friends and
Thanksgiving.
family.
Friends and family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting times.
Interesting times.
All right, moving on to the punch. The banner headline, food crisis. OPS warns of shutdown as hoodlums loot more trucks. The rider, building materials, spaghetti trucks attacked in Ogun, Kaduna, 15 arrested in Abuja. FG condemns warehouse looting. Kanu store evacuates ways. State to get free grains. Above the nameplate, AFDB plans a $2.7 billion budget and agri loans for Nigeria. Dangote names refinery road after Nwigwe, that is on page 35 of the Punch newspaper. Approach Zimbabwe for solution to inflation, Obasanjo tells FG. And there's a pictorial, beneath the pictorial we have banks involved in 70% of financial crimes. EFCC. And as CDC Tompolo, men raise Ondo oil thieves hideout. Sim Nin, NCC defends blocking of phone lines. A lawyer slam 10 billion naira suit. You can get that on the page 35 of the Punch newspaper. And those are the stories that made the headlines on the Punch newspaper today. Food crisis.
All right, food crisis. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it's major. It's
Yeah,
major.
it is.
Well, another one here that really got to me is Dangote naming Refinery Road after his friend Herbert Wigwe. That's a very touchy one.
Yeah.
If you ask me, a very touchy one.
Yes.
Well, the story about banks being involved in 70% of financial crimes. This is credited to the EFCC.
Yeah.
It's not far-fetched, really, because they know the nooks and cranny of these things. They know who has monies in the accounts. They know how monies can move from one account. I mean, people have complained about monies being lodged into their accounts and removed, without them knowing.
Yeah.
They just see an alert, boom, some millions. And before you know it, boom, it's out.
gone.
It's out.
Before you can,
I experienced something like
before
that
you can-
sometimes.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you make a withdrawal?
No, not really. I was lying down and I saw money. I was like, what's happening? And I was thinking maybe someone actually, maybe a well-wisher sent me money. So I called my uncle,
much?
like I think 700,000 thereabout. So I called my uncle, like, hello, uncle. He said, yeah, did you send me money? I said, no, I didn't. I was actually planning to, but what happened? I said, okay, fine, maybe not to you. How much was sent to you? I didn't reveal the amount to him because
Okay.
that will actually, make my destiny helper not to help me again. But before you know what is happening, the money is gone.
Wow.
And I had to go to the bank to ask. And to my greatest surprise, they were like telling me I need to sit down. The security operatives need to ask me some questions. They were like, what do you people mean by that? Like, money came into my account. Please, I need a printout of let me get the statement of account first. Because the lady first denied it. And when I actually asked for the question, she decided to refer me to security operatives so that they will actually make it look like maybe I'm dropping something not real. And when I printed out my statement of account, they found out that that transaction actually existed. But now it happened to be enclosed. So the person that sent the money was not there. And when the person that picked the money also was not there. And they were now asking, I was like, I noticed this was the alert message I got about this money coming into my account. And this was also the debitor alert I got about the money leaving. And they were now telling me, do I do, what's it called, FX? I say, no. Do you have a wallet account? I don't have any wallet thing. And they were like, okay, maybe some people, no, you shouldn't tell me that. Then actually, my money is no longer safe with you. After the Fort and Back thing, they were like, we need to resolve. And I told them, okay, no problem. I have agreed to the resolving thing, but please, this shouldn't happen again. I don't know. Maybe they
Just imagine if you had
It's
withdrawn that
part
money.
it's part of how money laundering is done. Money can be moved from one account to another. And
Is
then
that
at the
how
end of
porous
the day,
the whole thing is
it
now?
becomes very difficult to trace.
Yeah.
That's why EFCC is coming out to make this revelation. I mean, it's a revelation that we already know.
Yeah.
You know that some bank staff are involved in financial crimes.
Yeah.
Oh well.
What do you have to talk about? Obasanjo asking FG to seek
From Zimbabwe.
from Zimbabwe.
Solution to inflation
Inflation.
from Zimbabwe. Former President Obasanjo has remained very, very prominent
Yeah.
in issues concerning Nigeria.
Yeah.
He has constantly, lend his voice to events happening within Nigeria. Oh well. We do have some more headlines to go to. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back from that break. We'll take a few more papers, maybe one more, and then we'll call it a day on newspaper review and then get into our talking point for today. Well, we've touched on The Punch, we've touched on Daily Trust, we've touched on The Guardian. I think we're left with Vanguard newspaper, right? Now, from Vanguard newspaper, we have the banner headline here, Corporate Nigeria shuts down Lagos for Wigwe as Dangote, Edun, Cardoso, Sanwo-Olu, Adesina, Ij Imokwede, others pay tribute. And then there's that pictorial there that showed these gentlemen paying their tributes to Herbert Wigwe, the late Herbert Wigwe. All right, when you go further up on top of the nameplate, we have why SIMs previously linked to NIN were barred, NCC. NPR, Obaseki faults CBN, warns of tougher times ahead. Edo Guba, INEC opens candidates nomination portal. APC candidates Idahosa writes INEC. IPAC tasks parties on issues-based campaign. And then on electricity, discos reject 753 megawatts despite FG's pressure. All right, these are the headlines. And then there's a Transcorp PLC list on NGX. That's also there. Well, these are the headlines from the Vanguard newspaper. And this basically is how far we can stretch it this morning on VOP This Morning newspaper review. All right, we'll take a breather now. When we come back, we'll be talking about one of our our very first topic for today. Fina wants to let us into that one.
Yeah, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria slashes the foreign exchange rate for custom duties by 5.3%.
We'll talk about this when we come back.